Started with games. Simple things. Pixels, buttons, a bit of fun. Then, somewhere along the way, the big platforms moved in. Last year, $200 billion flowed upwards, away from the people who actually play. This year, they take it back. YOM, where players play games straight from your PC, not a data center in Virginia. Meet Tyler Pemberton. Yes, this looks dramatic, but he's perfectly fine. Tyler's offline. His PC isn't. 47 players streaming from his GPU right now. Even AFK, Tyler's rig is pulling its weight. He's making money in his sleep. Maybe this is what happens when gamers finally take control of their own world. Turn your idle GPU into passive income. YOM.net. Eat, sleep, earn, repeat.
Hey, Andy, how you doing?
Yeah, very good, very good.
Welcome everybody to the live stream.
Yeah, I was going to say it was cool. That visual there was great, mate. Love it.
Yeah, that last one, we're going to get to that and what that is. That's a pretty powerful piece of data that we got off this week. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Welcome everyone. Yeah, it's another town hall. I got Andy with me today. We're going to have Jeroen and Europe both, but it's a celebration in Amsterdam or Netherlands this today. It's what do they call it? Santernacht. It's almost like Santa Claus Day. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Which one? We don't have. Oh no, sorry. Actually, we've got it here in Spain as well.
You do too.
Yeah, and Monday. But we don't have it in the UK. So
no, I don't have. We don't have in the States either.
Yeah, I don't know.
But apparently, it's kind of something similar to our Thanksgiving, where everyone gets together. Family is in town for both those guys, anyways, and they do a big meal. And I think they swap gifts, and all I know is it's a Santa Claus with a couple of or almost looks like Santa
extra
Claus.
K's. Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say in the name, extra K's in the name. It's Klaus, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyways, so Andy, happy to have Andy on board. And again, if you're new to YOM, I kind of want to start with a little bit of a quick introduction because there are still we've been gaining so many community members in the last couple of weeks, but this past week still, big jump up and big spike in participation. So again, YOM is a decentralized cloud gaming network. We have built the basically the best way to deliver games to end users. So we have built a decentralized network. We allow people who have a gaming rig at home to put their gaming rig onto our network, and then we pay them to allow us to stream games from their rig to the end user. The end user can hit any URL inside of Telegram, inside of Discord. Games can be posted anywhere a YouTube stream can be posted. Now, gaming publishers and game developers can publish a game in as ubiquitous as a YouTube video. So this means for these publishers and game studios, the best way to reach players. You don't have any kind of download and install. The end user doesn't have to have a big, powerful gaming rig because all the calculations is done through the network. So really, it's just a matter of hitting the website to play a AAA quality game. There are other services like Amazon has a version of this, NVIDIA has a version of this, but they're all centralized. They're all built out of a big data center, which are super expensive to run, environmentally damaging. There's long wait times on both of those services right now. On Monday nights, you can wait like 2 hours to jump into a game on NVIDIA GeForce Now. So we don't have any of those issues because we're decentralized, and because we're using gaming rigs around the world, we're very local. So the end user, when they hit a URL, our system sees where they are and finds them a node that's close by to them to stream from. And then we've got 95% lower costs because we're not building a big building and having to maintain that big building with all the costs that come there. For us, it's just a matter of rewarding those people who are putting their gaming rig on our network. So it's, again, the best system for delivering games. And it's coming at a time where the gaming industry really needs the help in getting players to play the games for the first time, because We just published another Medium article. It just came out about 10 minutes ago. It explains again at a high level what it is that we do and why we've got the best delivery system and why game publishers and game developers are jumping to us to get on board our network. But one of the things that we point out in that article is a graphic. You'll see it. But we last year, or 2023, that's the last time data was available. The amount of time spent by gamers to find a new experience that was not, a sequel or one of the games that that's been around for like 10 years, like Call of Duty or Fortnite, is like 6.5% of the time of 2023 of the gaming time. But even that 6.5%, 5 games took half of that. So discovery of new games is at an all-time low. It's very, very difficult to do. And a part of that is because the services like Steam, they funnel people to the top 10 games. They don't really let new games get discovered. And part of it is just players' reluctance to download and install a game if they're not sure that they're going to enjoy it. So by having it posted on a website or inside of a Telegram or Discord group, the barrier for sampling is so much lower, right? So it's easy for people to get into a game for the first time. Turns out they're going to love that mechanic, or they're going to love that storyline, and they're going to adopt that game much easier and get them away from playing the same game over and over again and try some of these new experiences. Andy, what I missed? Like that pretty well sum up what it is that we've built.
Making my notes. Yeah, we'll have a word later about. No, very, very good, mate. To be honest, I think just as the only other thing I was going to say is, and that instant play gaming attraction, the instant advert, i.e., like you have with a HTML build of a mobile game with inside an advert. That was the killer product that we've just seen everybody biting, really, isn't it? And
right.
On a call yesterday with I won't say the name of them, but they're a massive gaming advertising business. Like they do all the major games, and the guy stopped and he was like, "So you can do AAA games inside an advert, inside Discord, Telegram, blah blah blah." And I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "Let me just get it." So he said, "You do know the conversion rates and how the conversion works with a gameplay as opposed to a downloadable game?" And I was like, yeah, it's 15 times. And he goes, "Well, actually, it's more, because these guys, they do advertising and data analytics." So he was like, "Right, let's get this project live. Let's go for it. Let's get mad. So we'll get some proper streaming through. Again, all these case studies, they're all kind of coming together, aren't they?" And I think it feels like, I mean, I noticed on the just on the stuff that we've been doing this week, there should be 2 more games live before Christmas, which will be in an aggregator, but also, and I won't say the aggregator's name, but it's one of the big Web3 ones, and the other one will be live on our website. And even on top of that, the stuff that's happening. Did you look at the other? And again, I don't want to not give names away, but there's another big Web3 aggregator that are doing some really cool stuff, massive chain, massive kind of company. And I was playing MVR in that yesterday, and the actual positioning, all working, everything looking great. It feels like the advancements are just, coming on. And I think we're getting, lots of traction from that side. Maybe should I give an update? Because I know you've got your stuff to go through. Or do you want to talk about some of that stuff first, and then I'll update in a bit?
No, it's probably a good time. So this whole conversation, or most of it's going to be centered around the community growth, because we've had some massive growth and we've got some data to show everybody about how that growth has gone. But no, go ahead and do the business side of things too. I think it's really interesting for people to hear about.
Yeah. So obviously what we've been doing for the last kind of 2 months is not only talking to AVAX, which obviously is where the AVAX conversion came in, but also talking to other chains that want us to integrate with them. So we've got another kind of 2 or 3 chains that we're in conversation with about integrating their games into the front end. And again, there's a bit here where, they're looking at what we're doing and saying, well, hold on, so we can get X amount of extra games on our chain. Oh, hold on, and what does that mean for our token and our token transactions, etc.? So the nice thing here is that what we've had over the last couple of weeks, or since I was last on actually, is Slush was the last time, wasn't it? So we had some really cool Web2 developments from that side. That's all continued, and we've got lots of ongoing conversations on that side. But on the Web3 basis, we've got lots of chains. We've got the 2 games which will go live, which will then have proof of concept on the aggregator. Also, proof of concept should come by the end or by mid-Jan on the advertising piece as well. So we should have data, all that kind of stuff coming through, which then means we can start going as the nodes are rolling out. We can start basically firing up the nodes and getting everybody excited about it. So again, that's there. I'm trying to think what else maybe I'll look at my diary very quickly without giving
It's a good way to
too
look at it
much
all.
away.
How many
Yeah.
meetings you've had? Yeah.
Yeah,
It is important to point out,
2024.
for us, we're on the Avalanche chain for our token, and that's the payment rails for the people who are operating the nano devices. But for our gaming system, for a game to be on our network, we're chain agnostic, and it doesn't have to have a chain at all. It can be just a simple Web2, not simple, but AAA quality Web2 or latent a legacy game that all fits on our network. They don't have to have any kind of token integration at all. But those games that do token integration, they don't have to run on our chain at all. We can call up the wallets of any of the major chains so far, right? And there's just a bit of work to get all the other chains involved. But so the games can be from any blockchain, and we're happy to put them on our network.
The other thing that was really interesting yesterday was, and this is where I think John comes into his own, because he's done, like you have, he's done 35 years of gaming, and he thinks gaming. So we were talking really very much about AAA games, AA games, high quality, high visual. And these guys at this ad agency said, listen, one of our clients is doing a AAA mobile game. Now, I was like, yeah, but why wouldn't you just do, a HTML version of the game and have it running and the thing, or not bother? And he was like, no. He goes, this game is AAA. So basically he was like, look, if we do a HTML version, it's going to be rubbish compared to the actual game. That's the first thing. Second thing he said was, look, the amount of data, even though it's a mobile game, the amount of downloads or download capacity that you need, most mobiles can't handle it. So he was like, not only can they not handle it, but they would have to, even if they can handle it, they'll have to free up space and they'll have to do all this extra stuff, which they're just not going to do. So he's like, if we can get them, like we said before, attracted in by playing on a web browser, go, this game's amazing. The call to action then at the end of it is download it. He's like, yeah, well, so I was surprised. I thought we were going to get like, I wonder if I can mention this one. Yeah. I mean, it's quite a cool game, but John was talking about Lemmings. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's a great game.
And while we have got MOU signed with some other big Nick games that people know, he was like, yeah, let's do Lemmings on this. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Yeah. Now this one, obviously these guys are like, no, forget Lemmings. Let's get this AAA game up. So I'm sort of like, okay. Because for me, being a Clash of Clans or Clan Royale kind of guy, I'm like, it's very simple. I'm like, dunk, that kind of stuff. I never play, any of the AAA games on mobile. So that was really interesting.
Let me take on I hear the comment from some quarters saying that I don't want to play AAA quality games on my phone. I want to play it on my computer, and that's great. We'll allow that for you too. But there are plenty of people in the world who their phone is their gaming console, right? Because it's what they have readily available. They travel more. Just that's the culture. But they can't, like you're saying, they can't take up a whole bunch of disk space on their phones to play the AAA quality games. But certainly streaming from a local node is well within the reach, right? And that's something that can only we offer.
I mean, if you think about it, though, what you could do, because again, I was a bit like, imagine the size of it. You're not going to get the full.
You're going to say Chromecast it.
Well, Chromecast it, or can we mention this other bit? Maybe even have it inside a TV. I am, right? So you'd have the controller would be your phone with the, which works just like a normal standard controller, and then you actually have it inside the app on your phone. There's, it's so much easier to do stuff. I mean, again, then we get to the point where Sony are like, oh my God, we're redundant.
I love when you start with the, hey, should I say this? And then you don't wait for me to say yes or no.
Anyway. Yeah.
All right, let's get into some of the community growth, because it's been really exciting, and I do have some stuff to show off. So, like as I said, we just published an article. It's called "Building YOM: Building the Premier Global Gaming Distribution Technology." Right, and it's a high-level overview of what we've built. You go to our Medium site, you can read it there. It's got a lot of good information. That is a teaser for or it's a primer for everyone who's just joining us for the first time. Now we've launched off these campaigns, these growth campaigns, and they've been really successful. Again, I think we said last week that our growth has been the most at the company that we contracted to help us with. We've grown faster than anyone else that they've worked with before, because our proposition is easily understood by people who are hearing it for the first time. Oh, you can help power games and earn money by powering AAA quality games. Everyone kind of gets that really fast, easy to grok. But to this point, we've had over 800,000 wallets register onto our campaign system. Now, it was actually higher than that at one point. It was almost 1 million, but then we did some weeding out of duplicates, which is great, because even when you weed them out, we get down to 800,000, but still 800,000 is massive. And we've done it after some weeding out of people who are, not really involved or who are duplicating. So that's some good things. Of that 800,000, 550,000 of those are coming from referral links, which I think is really important to kind of point out that people aren't just doing it themselves. They're also referring out to all their friends. So the flywheel is taken over, and this is just drawing more and more people into our community, which has been great. Our X account has jumped over 212,000 followers at this point, which again, that's about 100,000 more than, or a little more than 100,000 from when we first started the campaign. So massive jump. The trailer that I showed in the beginning of this time, in the timer video, that's been seen by over 460. It's been seen over 460,000 times, right? Which again is another jump of more than 100,000 views in the past week. And last week's town hall was seen by 4,200 people. So that was me and Yort, kind of going over the same thing, that we've been growing really fast. All these things are helping us because, a lot of the game is getting the algorithm to take over and start pushing YOM to people who haven't seen it yet without anyone else doing the pushing. So having big numbers and having big view counts is helpful to get the algorithm kind of in line with what we're trying to do. Anything you want to say about either of those two big surges?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. Well, I was just going to say, the guys that were dealing with the agency, they're veterans in the space, and you're right. They said this is brilliant. They said this is exactly what we need to be seeing in the push towards TGE. Especially where the market is at the moment. We're going to be perfect timing for kind of launching. The only other thing is, I don't know if you saw, I put it in the chat group or our chat group. Basically, I think the voice in the video is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy voice. And actually the style.
It could be. Yeah.
Look at the style now, and then look at Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Which, if you haven't watched it, watch the Hitchhiker. Read the books first of all, and then watch the movie.
Wait a minute, books? Is there more than one? I've read the first. Is there more than one book?
Yeah, it's a trilogy. Sorry, it's called a trilogy, but there's 4 of them. Because that's just the humor, isn't it? Yeah, there is 4 of them. Goodbye and thanks for the fish is the last one.
Okay. All right.
Which is all about dolphins.
I did enjoy it. And that was like, it was not prerequisite reading, but if you were a cool kid back in the time I grew up, everyone read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It was just something that we all jumped into. So, all right. So let's get on to the rig check, because this is, again, the big graphic that I wanted to show off. So one of the best ways, so those numbers that I talked about, they're really good. They're really powerful, but really for us, the big push is how many people are going to run nodes, and how do we spread the nodes out, worldwide, get global coverage. So some of the best data that we have to judge if we're penetrating where we want to penetrate, and if we're doing our job, is the rig check app, right? So on our website, if you through the app, you can check to see if your rig is powerful enough to run the YOM, to run a node, or how many nodes it can run. It's not just telling you can, but then gives you a good estimate for how many you can run. This is a heat map of the people who have been running the node, the rig check, which you can see. I mean, we've got a lot, and the size of the dots on how many people in that region have been checking.
That's really cool. What's that? So my name's here, geography here. That's China, is it? I'm assuming. The big one.
No, I think that's actually more. I want to say, no, it's not Singapore. Where is that? You know what? I'll have to go check the data to find out. It's a good question you've just asked. What I do want to say is
interesting. If they're very close to where the games are actually, where all the gamers are, then that's even better, isn't it?
That's what I was going to say. Our penetration into the Pacific Rim, these countries where gaming is super popular, has gotten pretty stout, which is awesome.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I think we need to do some work to get down into South America. I think we need to do some work to get more North America and Australia. People, lonely people
Oh,
in
it's so cute.
Australia.
Just one quick thing I'd say here is, even if you know that your gaming rig can't, so for example, I've got a normal laptop here without a gaming graphics card, it's worth running the app, because it'll tell you if your Wi-Fi is, your Wi-Fi,
Right.
you got a hard wire in, don't do a Wi-Fi link, but it'll
Right.
tell you whether your connection is strong enough. Now, to be frank, if your connection is strong enough, and it says, right, with this connection, you can run five games, then you want to start thinking, right, well, hold on, my calculator, it's I don't know, we bought a couple of rigs for Spain, and they were 880 euros a piece, which is super cheap. We had very little, tech on them. I think we only had Ubuntu. We didn't even have a booting system. You can get these rigs for a relatively reasonable price. The node in, then you can have your money back in 4 or 5 months and profit from there onwards. So it's worth running the tester anyway.
Now, this map is just a single snapshot. It's data from, I think, 2 or 3 days ago. We've obviously had more rechecks since then, but the long-term goal is to get this as a page on our website. It has to be an interactive app, and people will be able to zoom into their area. They can see, it's saturated here. I'd rather go someplace else, or I don't know that I'm. The upside for us is the saturated areas also means those are the areas that are heavy with game requests, or a lot of publishers want to get published in those areas, so that'll help. But again, if you're on the west coast of the US, you're in prime time. Jump in and start running a node, because there's a lot of gamers out there, but not a lot of nodes out there. So that's the kind of information that'll help you make your decision.
And just a quickie, Jeff, on this, on the size of the circles, the size of the circle is the number of people in that location, not the amount of coverage that each node will have.
Yes, yeah, that's correct. And you're right. You could have like 18 people who have all got only can run a single node or 2 nodes at a time.
Yep.
That's not going to show you the difference between there's one person who can handle 8 nodes at once. So these sizes, and you know what, that's a good information. We probably, as we build this interactive version, we probably want to grab that data as well. That's a good point.
And there's a very nice one. We've got the very bottom of Africa there, one. And then we've got the probably utmost northern part of Africa as well, which is kind of cool. So, yeah. There's some very.
Like I said, it's good to see, and I'm going to be really interested in seeing this map grow as well as the map of the actual nodes that are running.
We just need someone in Alaska. Then we've got Australia, or it looks like Fiji or something like that. Is it at the bottom, or New Zealand? So New Zealand through to
New Zealand. Yeah, it's New Zealand. Yeah.
So we need someone in Alaska. Let's find someone in Alaska, and then we've got those bits. There's some really cool kind of visuals we can do there, isn't there?
And this is all still, we're what, 2 weeks into our marketing push. It's still very early. We had a big bump because we got into the Avalanche community. We have a big bump because we did a lot of talk about the nano sales, and that went live at Fresh Miners. So if you're interested in getting a nano, you do the rig check first. That's a smart move to make, and then from the rig check, it'll send you right over to the page to pre-order your nano device and get it sent to your home. So that's all fired up. The next step for us is we got our influencers all started to fire up. So the first Nordic Crypto posted on his Reddit and TikTok and even on CoinMarketCap. So we're starting. That's the start of a push of a bunch of different KOLs who are putting the information out there to their followers, and again letting the flywheel take over. So you're just going to see it grow from here. It's been a pretty good start, and it's only going to get better. I do want to make a mention, though, that this growth, this massive growth, I mean, it really has been very, very fast. Of course, there's some pain points that come with it, right? The noise level of my Telegram is just ridiculous. I've got people reaching out, and God love our mods, because they've been doing a good job of kind of telling everybody, open up a ticket in Discord if you really want to be a contributing partner, or if you want us to talk. But we've had every different exchange reach out to us, and every different marketing company reach out to us, and a lot of influencers. It's been a lot of noise in my Telegram. It's hard to parse through it all. I imagine it's the same for you.
It is. Although what I've taken to doing, I'll give you a little trick, is don't block people, because they're only doing their job, really.
Right,
and obviously I've lost my Telegram, which is really annoying, because I think someone blocked me anyway. But just right click and delete for them as well, and they don't realize that you haven't responded, because all the information goes. So
that is a better way, because if you just open up to read it, they can see that you've read it, and so they message you again and again and again.
Totally.
So I've gotten to where I don't even open them up anymore because I hate to break it to them, but we've got our partners already. I mean, at the same time, there probably are some cases where, like, you know what, that would be really valuable to us. We probably ought to partner up. So
I think though that the one thing I found, and I had a call this afternoon with one of the biggest exchanges out there, and we had calls with two out of the, well, I don't know, 2 out of the top 5 anyway recently. But those ones, they don't reach out to you. You have to get recommended in.
right.
So it's referrals in. So what I'm finding is that it's the emerging ones which are great, but the problem being is we can't go on emerging ones. If we're going to go on any at all, we've got to go big, you know.
Right.
So it's a bit, and I understand they're doing their jobs and it's a bit difficult, but yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
I'm getting
Fortunately,
spammed. Yeah.
with Avalanche's backing, and then there's all this notice as our story gets out there. The big ones, it's not out of reach at all if we decide that that's what we want to do. And there's a lot of extra benefits with going something like that. But again, I think we're still only just started on that path at this point.
I was just going to say as well, the KOLs that we got at the moment are very much DePIN KOLs.
Yeah.
Obviously, the extra KOLs start again in the new year. So I think there's a list of about 20 or 30 of them, all focused DePIN or crypto more generally, and they're good names, they're good brands, and they're people who are like, yeah, we want to be part of this. So
right.
It's very good.
I know we've had some other influencers we've talked to who are like, well, this guy, all of his content is super scammy. I don't think we want to be a part of that. And we've turned down some accounts that have a pretty good following, but we just felt like they're not going to be like with the first group that we sent out to. We sent them a nano and said, hey, evaluate it. Let us know if you like it. Run your rig test and run a node for us. And then if you like it, go ahead and put some content out. And that's kind of what we got to the group that we've got to now. And that'll just expand, as you're saying, out in the future.
Yeah, and there's a few. I met a couple in. So one of the, or two of the ones that we've got going out for the TGE stuff, I met them in Singapore about a year ago, and it was really interesting because you meet people who are like, yeah, we'll post for you, give us X amount of dollars, and we'll do it. And then you read their content, it's just shill. And then you meet other ones who are like, right, explain to me what you do. Okay, and they're not selling to you. They're like, oh, that's cool. And they're actually not thinking, right, can I make money from it? They're thinking, will my base be interested in this? Is this something that's going to be exciting for people? So they're the ones we've been targeting, really, aren't they?
Yeah. The ones who have a following that the one that are treating their followings like human beings, right?
Yeah.
The other part I want to touch on with this massive growth is the scammers. Like, this is also just a word of to all of our community. Just be careful. Don't click on a link. And even someone opened up a Discord account called what do they call it? Customer service. They joined our Discord as customer service. Like, you got to be really careful inside of Discord. It's kind of a bit of the Wild West, and we do our mods do a great job and stay on top of all this stuff. That customer service guy got found very, very quickly. But do be careful, inside of any community Discord, including our own. You don't click on a link that you don't understand or it doesn't come from, doesn't come from yom.net. It's probably not supposed to be there.
Yeah, and also what I'd say is, there is quests going on and all that kind of stuff, but there's no kind of login for an instant airdrop. So. Yes. And what I'd say is categorically, any Discord, any Telegram where it's like logging quickly, anything that says quick, you're like, no, not at all. Anything that says, look, in 5 days there's a airdrop coming, then you can go, fine. I mean, funnily enough, I don't know if you were following it, but I got emails from Coinbase about a Monad airdrop, and even then I was like, this sounds like a scam. And then I logged into my Coinbase account and it was like Monad sale, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's not. But again, you just never know. And I think you've always got to log in with a burner wallet. Don't ever log into anything that you're pushed to do instantly or you might miss out. And, take your time on these things and imagine everything's a scam is the way to think about it. Yeah.
All right. That's kind of the whole thing I was going to run through today. As we let's look at the chats and see if there's questions being dropped here. Let's see. Well, there's a lot of questions in the chat. Or a lot of
Is
talking
there?
in the chat. Yeah, well, a lot of talking. Let's see. Why do we have the same airdrop entry point with entry, pack swap, and techno mainnet? Why do you have the same airdrop interface with entry, pack swap, and tech to main T? I imagine it's because we're using a service to help us with. It's not the it's the service that we're using. It's not. We didn't build it ourselves. That seems like, why would we do that? It's better to use a partner who had built that system and then just kind of they've already battle tested it. I imagine that's what he's asking. He's asked it a number of times, actually.
I was going to say, if there's anything that we can't answer, please put a ticket in Discord, or just ask in the chat. You know, if you ask in the Telegram chat, people will be able to answer the question quite quickly, or they'll be able to point you to the right people.
Let's see. I just tried Apple Vision Pros. I don't know what a YOM can provide there, but it would be future. No, yeah, it would be for the future, no doubt. Require processing power. Yeah, absolutely. VR is right in our target zone as well, because again, that's a lot of processing power that to have it done local is going to be expensive and hard to do. But with streaming from our network to a set of VR glasses means that VR glasses can be a lot less expensive to buy. Because all the compute power happens off the cloud. So I would not be surprised at all in 5 years to see a VR headset that is hooked to a cloud connection instead.
I think it's a definite. I mean, if I look at Nate, my son's got a Quest. He can only have one game on the Quest at any one time. So he has to download the game 30 minutes, upload the game another 30 minutes. You go to the right. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. Now, I'm sure they'll start building, bigger storage facilities, but why bother? You're never going to have 150 games that you can click onto at one point. And if you can't do that, then what you're going to, I mean, exactly what he does. He takes it off, he puts it down, he goes to his PlayStation. I think there's an interesting bit, actually. One of the MOUs that we've got is with a company called Coffee Cup, and it's coffee with a K and cup with a K as well, I think. And they're basically a Meta. Basically Meta gives them projects to do and says, hey, can you build this, and we'll pay you for it. So a lot of the in-house games that Meta are getting built at the moment are by Coffee Cup, and we signed an MOU with those guys. Lovely people, really good, super slick, very commercial. So we'll be doing more stuff with them, which again, I would say they would be our sort of partners to say, right, we'll start doing VR stuff. And I think look, the mobile phone probably isn't the best option for it, but we can do it like that, where the mobile fits into a set of glasses and you run it that way.
Oh, that was, I've actually published like that before. I've done what title was it that we did on the phone? We had a Lego, it was an AR Lego blockheads game that was done through the phone.
Wow.
Yeah, that was one of my titles. If you go and look it up, I don't know if it's still being published or not, but that was one of the VR AR titles that I did. And are you going to have any of these games, Fortnite, Arc Raider, or Rust? I think any one of those games is well within our target range. I think any AAA quality game that's looking to gain new users or have people sample for the very first time. Again, we're kind of, in a way, bringing back. I go back to the days when PC Gamer magazine had a disc that was in a sleeve with the magazine. When you bought it, you got a sample disc, and you get to sample some of these games. And that's how you would make the determination whether you're going to, pay it, buy it, in the box. It was still in the box on the shelf back in those days. But we're bringing that sampling a game back, and sampling with ease, because all you're doing is sampling through the website. So any of the games that you just mentioned, these high quality games that even if they don't want to put the whole game on the network, they just put a sample up, and that is your way to get your foot in the door. Yeah, that's available to us as well.
I think things like Fortnite as well. I think Fortnite at the moment locks the scaling. Is it 60 players? But obviously, once we go, live across multiple continents and such like, with MetaGravity as well attached to, we can scale to. They say it's infinite. I'm sure there must be some point where it breaks. But anyway, they've done 100,000. They said that's fine. I think they were looking at doing a Minecraft of 1 million. But again, look, apparently 1 million won't be a problem in the same game. Ready Player One. That's all we can say. Yeah.
Their system, again, decentralizing that the sharding is what makes that powerful. I got a question here. Someone asking about the elite badge code. Everyone in the Discord is asking for the elite badge code. So when code. The elite badge is a badge that's reserved for our collaborating partners. That is not something that community members will gain. But there are community member badges that we're setting that system up now and populating it, that you can work your way up to gaining. You won't get all the way to the elite badge, but you'll get all the way up to the higher badges stages, and then that's going to play out as our community rewards program gets set up. So you can stop asking for the elite badge code. That's really for other projects who are partnered with us, and it's just it's part of the system that we're using. But there are badges that will be released and revealed over time. So tune into ask the mods about those badge codes. But it's not just simple get a code. You've got to, I mean, we ask that you do a little bit of getting familiar with our project before we just drop codes on you, and help us out by spreading the word, referring people to the system and following our Twitter, that kind of thing. All right. I think I've got to the end of my list. Do you think YOM, wait, one last question. Do you think YOM would profitable in the beginning or throughout the years maintain profitability? Is it near proof? I'm not sure I understand the question. Do you think YOM will be profitable in the beginning or throughout the years? Throughout the
Are they
bears?
asking about break even?
No, he's talking about can we be profitable through the bears?
Massively. I mean, the nice thing is, I think to become profitable, we're about 450 nodes in, and we're doing a 1,000 node launch.
Right.
So as soon as that's, and again, we can't just do the launch and then we're profitable. You've got to do the launch and then it's got to be filled and you've got to get the games playing, blah, blah, blah. But I think there's an interesting bit here, which is maybe worth just pointing out, that there's so many. I read, I can't remember where I was reading in one of the chats, or maybe it was one of ours, maybe it was someone else's, but there's a big thing here about, there's loads of really great companies and great projects, etc., that go bust, and I think that for us, we're nowhere near that, and we are so close to basically launching, so close to profitability, plenty of runway, no matter how long these things, because I know there's been a bit of previously, and I know you handled this one more than me, but the disturbance with the delay in the TGE. The delay in the TGE is for a reason, and it's so that we have a really good, solid launch. We would prefer everybody to do to have a launch ASAP because it makes sense for us, but we want to do the right launch at the right time because we're not here just for 6 months or 5 months and then that's it.
Well, I think when people ask about or they point to other Web3 projects and they wonder why is it we have so much confidence in what we're building. Again, I think because we're not really, I mean, we are using Web3 technology as a payment system, but really we're a technology company in the gaming sense. We're a game delivery system. Cloud gaming is already, people want it to work. They're paying the subscription for NVIDIA GeForce Now and for Amazon's Luna. People are they want it to work, or Microsoft has their Game Pass, right? Everybody wants it to work, and they're all pissed because all those systems I just named have got real headaches. They can't scale. I've talked about this a number of times before, but they can't grow. They can't provide more compute for the high volume times, like those Friday nights when there's a 2-hour wait. They just figured, like, we're going to put people in a queue because if we buy a bunch of more computers, then we've got to have them sit idle on a Tuesday afternoon when nobody's gaming. So they won't do it. Where again, our system is different because our scaling method is more people own a node, and or they upgrade their gaming computer at home because they want a better gaming experience when they're playing, which means our network gets better when they're not playing and when they've got their computer on our network. So in many, for all those reasons, our system is much more scalable. So the proof is already out there. People are wanting a cloud gaming system that works. They just haven't found one yet because everyone's building it the wrong way. They're building it centralized, and we've come along to say, nope, build it decentralized. That will make it work. So we're serving a market that's already ready to be served, and that's why I think we had so much confidence in what we're building.
Yeah, and even when you look at the numbers of how big cloud gaming expected to be by 2030, those are numbers which are judging on paying $2 to $6 per hour for AWS. So imagine it's 28 billion at $2 to $6. And when you think, well, hold on, right? Imagine if it was 5 cents, or imagine 20 cents because you have 4 streams in an hour. You're instantly got loads more games, loads more people want to be involved in it, loads more accessibility because it's running on a mobile rather than, you know, you've got to have a PC to use it. It's scalable to the nth degree. I think I'd see it, you know, cloud gaming is the future basically, and get rid of consoles.
Yeah. So that it was just asked, you know, how do we differ from traditional cloud gaming services like Google Stadia or GeForce Now? And again, the decentralized approach. That's how we're different. We let people who have a gaming rig be our data center, right? If you get a gaming rig at home, you put it on a network, and we pay you. This is just a much better way. You're closer to the end user this way. We don't have to, you know, if you're too far away from a Google Stadia hub or a GeForce Now hub, even if you were able to get on during those high gaming volume times, you're going to deal with latency just because the distance is going to be too much to transverse. We're very local because we're in a machine close by to you. So that's a big difference. It's centralized versus decentralized. Again, I point you to the Medium article we just posted that gives a little bit more of a detail about why it is that we're different and what's going on there. One last question I saw. Someone's I saw a screenshot with 10 millisecond latency. Is that really happening? Somehow you got a chance to see some of the new technology. So the universal pixel streamer that we're working on, getting ready to launch, that's even faster than the version that we have live right now. So yes, what you're seeing is correct. We're doing even more improvements to the speed of transfer of data. So it's getting pretty crazy. A lot of smart people with a lot of on our engineering team. Our engineering team, it just seemed to have multiplied in its brilliance.
And the business team as well, mate.
Don't
worry
sorry,
about us. Yeah, us too. Yeah, we're winners as well. You know, I include you in that one as well, Jeff.
All right, I appreciate that, Andy. Thanks. All right. Hey guys, that's 45 minutes. It's a pretty good amount of time for the algorithm. And if you haven't yet joined our YouTube channel, please do that. If you haven't followed us on X, please do that as well. Like and share and subscribe to all those channels. It really helps our algorithm out. If you in the YouTube links, write a comment, not just like the video, but also write a comment in there. And if someone answers your comment again. That kind of thing really helps the algorithm out. Same thing with our X posts. If you comment, but then just answer any response to your comment or respond to somebody else's comments, that also helps out the algorithm. But again, we're just pumping out, getting more people to see us in larger regions of the world, getting more people to do the rig test, and then sending people over to the site to buy their Nano and get it operational, so we can go to mainnet.
Sounds great.
All right, gang. We'll see you again probably next week. I imagine we'll do another one of these. These have been they're always fun to hear people's questions and to get out here live and talk to people. Any last closing words, Andy?
Happy weekend, everyone.
Yeah.
Touch some grass. Yeah. You know, have fun. That's the main bit. See you soon, guys. Ciao.
All right, guys. See you.